top of the league. Yo! Here we go. Here we go. I think we're recording. This is a little bit of a culmination of everything that's been going on around Arsenal. I didn't do my match review. I didn't do things like that. And as well, we've got this game coming tonight. I'm filming this on Tuesday. So, yeah. This is going to be a culmination of everything. My match reaction to the Fulham game, all the title race stuff, as well as the preview for tonight. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to try and timestamp things so I can do things a bit better. It's not going to go well. I need to look it up. But anyway, Fulham versus Arsenal, the build up towards that game, I said, no more talking. It's simple. Win and keep winning. You remember, I said that, and that's what we got to keep doing. And as long as we do that, it doesn't matter what Liverpool do, even Man City do. And let's give some respect to Bournemouth, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham. It doesn't matter what they do as long as we keep winning. And Arsenal, that's what I was thinking before the game. And even my prediction, it was a wild one, because I think I said, yeah, we don't have a good record at Fulham. For some reason, we don't have a really good record there. But I was predicting 4-0 because I know what we're capable of. Underestimated Fulham a little bit in my preview, but it is what it is. As we go into the game, you know, the team lineup is as what I thought it would be. No changes from what I predicted it would be. So I thought we were going to line up like that. Still had enough to walk this team. But yeah, we get into the game. Fulham just set up sharp. Like they set up to not let us play. A bit not as bad as West Ham. West Ham didn't even want to play football that day. But Fulham, they came to play football, but they also came to just lock off those spaces in midfield. Eze didn't have a lot. He didn't have the best of games, but I think that's what they were doing, you know, heavy at the back, heavy in midfield, and then we'll play for counter-attacks. It was working for them. It was frustrating to watch. And it's not, let's be honest, right? It's from a whole fan's point of view. So if I'm thinking from a neutral's point of view, it's not the most appetizing game, because I'm noticing this a lot with Arsenal. And this is what happens when you become the best in the league, one of the best in the league. Teams kind of set up just not to concede a lot. And City went through that a couple seasons ago. And I think we're getting there now. And I think it was happening last year, and it's definitely happening this year, where we've got to learn to break down the low blocks. And we're finding a way that the last two games, especially the West Ham game and this game, 1 goal, 2 goals, we're still managing to break it down. And it just shows a lack of ambition from the other teams. I know, you know, you should, for me, you should always try and play football. And I think a lot of teams are scared to come away with those big score lines. You know, a manager doesn't want to come away relaxing, oh, everyone's questioning my tactics or something like that. So I understand it, but I also say football's kind of being killed off a little bit in that respect. And no disrespect to those teams, because I'm not sure any team wants to be pummeled 4-5-0, but just play your brand of football. And yeah, you play to win, but for me, a lot of these teams aren't playing to win. They're not playing to win. They had opportunities, but let's be frank, right? They did not have a shot on target. Fulham didn't have a shot on target. Second game in a row, Raya has had nothing to do. And that's through no fault of his own, because these teams are not set up. They had opportunities, but not one shot on target. Shows the level that these teams are going to, just to try and scrap out a result against us. But that's no disrespect to them. It wasn't as bad as the West Ham game. I keep saying that. They did their thing and they had opportunities, but they just couldn't even hit the target. It was that bad. And that goes to our defense and the goalkeeper. The great job we're doing back there. Still a clean sheet, not conceding. Amazing. We've got a lot to get through, so I'm going to stop my rambling because I do it quite a bit. So yeah, they were closing out the midfield. it is what it is. First half wasn't really a lot to write home about. I think they had kind of the better of the opportunities in terms of the flow of the game, like the way they were pressing when they on the counter. It seemed like they would actually get the goal. But my feeling overall the game, but especially the first half, I knew it was only a matter of time, because when teams set up like this, yes, they could go up the other end and get a fluky, I don't want to sound rude, but yeah, it's a fluky goal. You're not set up to score. So, you know, I'm thinking this, I'm not worried about Arsenal. They're going to find a way, and I believe in this team to find a way, and they have done again. And yeah, the goal came after the break. It was a corner. Saka was dominating down that right hand side. He was cooking Sessegnon. I don't know how he come away with that without a yellow card or anything like that. I think it's madness. He was getting fouled, but he was cooking him. And yeah, it came from a corner. Saka with the ball in. Big Gabriel with the little touch onto the back post, and then off of Trossard's thigh, he sort of just gets it in. Easy. And I was actually thinking about the goal. I was like, you know what? Those are those moments when a player tries to use his foot instead of just using a part of his body to score that, and that's when it fumbles. I thought that was very intelligent in that finishing point of view, just to get something on it, the closest limb to the ball, and get it over the line. And he did that. Goal for Trossard. Didn't have the best of games again, but this is what he is. He's clutch. He's absolutely clutch. And I think all Arsenal fans are realizing that left-hand side is either a clutch player or, again, Martinelli. I have to hold my hands up. I have my criticisms of him, and he's doing a job as well. If they can find a way of doing a job together, I'm happy with that. If there's a GA each game from that side, want to. But if there's a GA over that side, I'm happy with that too. And, you know, we're finding that a little bit. Saka's been out, and Trossard and Martinelli have stepped up in filling in for some of those goals. I want to see more, but because I think Trossard frustrates people over a course of 90 minutes because he doesn't look like he's doing a lot. He can't really beat his man, because if he does, he sort of just cuts back anyway. He hasn't got the pace, but he's got this great ability to be in the right place at the right time, as well as his finishing is good. So fair play. On a whole, brilliant. I'll take it all day long. And I only caught half the game, and I watched it back anyway, and I'm not overly, we beat Fulham. I do have my concerns about how we're always going to come up against these things during this league campaign, and whether we're going to be able to break that down all the time. And questions have to be asked, of a certain player. So the goal went in, there's not a lot more to talk about. No shots for Fulham at all. Best defense in the world right now. I'm going to say it. Best defense in the world right now. Come on. It is. Conceded 3 goals. Madness. And Saka's world class. I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's been world class for a little while now. He's been compared to everyone. The moment you start doing that, you got to look around, okay? He does it on a consistent basis, and he has been doing it. And I've noticed when a player is criticized as well as lauded a lot, that's when they're getting to that level, because people want to pick him apart to tell you he's not. And it's only the minor things, really. I mean, the trophy thing, if you want to go on that, but Harry Kane didn't win anything. He was still named world class. So just off of those things, it is. But during the game, to talk about some of the players, I don't think we can fault the defense. Gabriel did have a funny first sort of 10 minutes, but that's got to be expected with this international traveling, trying to get back. I think a lot of I think Enzo didn't start. A couple of other teams didn't start there. South American players. So it's one of those, but I think we needed him. He stepped up after that, and obviously he got an assist. So he just needed a little bit of ticking over, I think. But it's a hard slug, and that's why I'm all for this next international break to be a bigger one and less breaks like this, because overall, we'll get into that in a minute. But certain players were struggling. he did struggle, but then he come good. I think the whole back line was pretty solid. Nothing to really write home about. Raya was good. Had nothing to do. That's exactly what you want as a football supporter for your team. Midfield, Zubi, class. He's just ticking it over. He thrives in these low blocks because he's got everyone in front of him, I think, and that's the key with him. Like, he's just knocking it around, engine ticking over. A lot of the stuff you don't even notice that he's doing unless you're really watching, but he just keeps it ticking, and he's pleasing on the eye to watch. So that's a he's a really good player, and he's starting to grow into the league now. I just want to see it a bit more in, you know, these big games that we've got coming up. Rice to the right, he was marching around as always. Is what it is. I will say sorry in defense. Timber, I did notice first half there was the first 20 minutes there was a couple of opportunities where he could have fed Saka in. The ball was either overhit or he couldn't get a touch a couple of times, but still he's still having a great game. Great game. Eze wasn't the best performance. This was his opportunity without Odegaard there. Him in that 10 role, what can he do? Low block, what can you do? And he didn't do an awful lot. I'm not going to say he had an awful game. It was just not enough space for him to work in. He does need to step up though. I do feel that, and I do believe he will. He knows that. I was just watching the Arsenal training video, and he was on the weights bench with 40 kilos, just looking at himself in the mirror. So he looks like he's got a bee in his bonnet, and hopefully we see that bee come out and sting up Atletico Madrid tonight. But yeah, wasn't the best in there. Saka obviously was world class. He was unbelievable. Yes, Saturday he was unbelievable. Trossard, we've already spoke about Trossard. And Gyökeres, again, this was the one I thought he's got to score. He's got to score in this one. But he couldn't. And through faults of his own and the team, because if Eze's ticking, he's getting a lot more ball. He wasn't quite getting that. He had a couple of opportunities, half opportunities, where I don't think he's quite expecting them, but I'm not making any excuses for him. He needs to bag. He needs to be in the right place at the right time to bag. But I've also noticed, and I want him to bag. This is not say, oh, he's not scoring, but this is this. What I'm saying is he's not scoring, and I'm fully that I want him to score. He needs to score. But I've noticed with his game, he is, and this is where I think a lot of Arsenal fans are starting to sympathize with Kai Havertz a little bit, because when Arsenal fans were saying, no, Kai Havertz occupies space, and yes, he wasn't scoring an awful lot last season or season before he did all right, but he occupies space, and he sometimes, and I think you see even more with Gyökeres now. I think opposition fans started to say, Havertz ain't going to do enough, and then they keep doubling up on the wings. And that's what he was occupying and allowing Saka, Martinelli on the other side, Trossard more space. And I'm seeing that a lot more with Gyökeres in his play. He is giving Saka so much room to breathe now, because usually two defenders are caught up with him and he's dragging the defense around. And those type of things go unnoticed, just like defending, just like DMs and stuff like that. It does go unnoticed, and we see it with Haaland. He's not. I'm not comparing him to Haaland. Haaland is on another planet right now. He is sniffing moon rocks over that way somewhere. Like, but it's the same thing like that. He's got to adapt his game just like Haaland has, and Haaland this year has definitely adapted his game a lot. But also, it's that similarity is, and people are going to try and get physical with you because you're big and strong. So they're going to try and rough you up. You can't get caught up in it. But if you are, draw them players over, give the quicker players, the more agile players, the time to move into. And I've seen that a lot. And I'm seeing Saka getting a lot more luck, even though he hasn't got Odegaard behind him. And Eze's not ticking. And I'm also seeing a bit more luck happening on that left-hand side. Obviously, it goes all round the team, but I feel like in an attacking sense, he's doing his job in that respect. Not scoring, which we all need him to do, but he is occupying, he is physical, he's getting wrestled around now. And it's so clear as day. Some debate whether he should have had a penalty. I'm not so sure. It could have gone either way. The Saka penalty, though, for me, I could see it being given either way again. I watched it so many times, and does he make contact with Saka first or the ball first? It's so close. But the point being is, I seen it on a podcast, was so even if I hit the player first, if I get the ball, it doesn't matter. So if I wipe him completely out, it doesn't matter then, does it? So we have to paint it a little bit more. And on the balance of thing, I think Saka deserved a penalty. So that's, you might say that's biased, but he was getting fouled left, right, and centre as always, and yet no cards are brandished, nothing at all. Just keep battering the guy. Go on, keep battering him. And it is what it is. But that's basically the whole Arsenal game. There was a couple of substitutions. Obviously, Eze came off in like the 68th minute. Wasn't having the best aim from Moreno. Moreno come on, just occupied space. Norgard came really late on just to see out the game. And I think Gyökeres came off. No, he used 96th minute. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. The subs were there. They were all right. It didn't, just kept things ticking over. It wasn't substitutions, and they were the reason why we won the game. Okay. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with the result. We've really struggled there, and we keep it moving. We keep it moving. But before we get on to the next game, I want to talk about my feeling after the game, and I know I've kind of covered that, but it was a kind of a bit like, oh wow, we got that win, okay? And I've noticed a bit of hangover, and we'll get into that in a minute. It was a bit of hangover from these international breaks. This was a long one, and I noticed with a couple of teams, Chelsea, Man City, well, Liverpool, kind of a bit hungover from our first halves weren't the most exhilarating. And I think it's down to being away with your World Cup squad, international squad. And my feeling after the game, I noticed that a lot around, but also just on Arsenal, that we're still not ticking yet. And I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, we're not ticking yet. And we're going to talk about the rest of the Premier League and the title race in a minute, but Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, even you can throw Bournemouth in there. Bournemouth are doing well, but then, you know, they might be overachieving. But I think none of us are really ticking yet. But we've got to get these wins. Man, I think the only thing ticking at the minute is Haaland. He's already exploded everywhere. Like, pause. But yeah, he's the only thing on form at the minute, ticking. And I think that's the issue. Like, we're still at the top of the table, which is brilliant, but we're not ticking yet. And I want to see what we're going to look like when it does start clicking. And that's a scary thing, because you see where Liverpool are at right now, and the fall off, 3 games in the Premier League on the bounce, lost. And because they're not ticking yet, nothing's really ticking, whatever it's down to. But that's a scary thing. We are relying on that defense, I think. And that's the one thing that is ticking. Probably our defense, and Haaland is the only thing ticking this season. But yeah, that's my overall feeling after the game, was we're not ticking yet. And I don't want to go down the route of that, oh no. And then everyone starts saying, well, you weren't ticking anyway. You weren't actually playing that well. It's not that we're not playing well, I don't think. I think teams lock us off, and then that's it. That's going to be your game for the day. So, and we do well to counter that. So it is what it is. That's my feeling overall. Brilliant about that game. My feeling of the title race so far. So I'm going to go for a couple of the teams that are right up there. Man City, obviously Haaland, world class, no debate. We already know this. He is on absolute smoke right now, and I think it's to do with the stay humble. Last year, was it last year, the year before, whatever it was, when that stay humble stuff happened, I think that showed a level of immaturity in Haaland. And he is a young man. But believe it or not, this guy's a young man. But that showed a level of immaturity in him. And I think he's gone through this period now of Man City at their lowest, not even their lowest point, a low point in their time in the last 10 years, should we say. And he's going through that. And I think he's come out the other side with a new contract, with a new role in the team, a more senior player, asking more of his team. And he's risen to that hats off to him. He's an unbelievable talent, and yeah, I don't hope he keeps scoring, obviously, but he's doing the work. Foden as well, working well with Haaland. I've seen a little bit of that, so again, that's working nicely, and they still got players to come back. And nobody's talking about City only until this weekend. And I was saying last weekend, there's always a worry if they're within touching distance and they're not quite clicking yet. Don't write them off, because they always start slow anyway. So a little about Man City, they are there until they're not there. Like, we can't keep going. Even 6 points behind, I think anyone's still in the title race if you're 6 points behind, especially at this stage of the season. I think even if you're 9 or 12 points behind, not that anyone is 9 or 12 points behind us, and it's definitely in a title race, but I think this stage of the season, it's not over. And I've seen that, we'll get onto Liverpool now. Liverpool are like a light switch. It's two buttons. There's two buttons, yeah? One flick. And I think it's gonna click like that one time, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, hold on. It might bamboozle us for one game, and then they draw the next one, but I think after that they might start clicking. I honestly thought, I watched the Liverpool Man United game, and I honestly thought he was going to start Ekitike. Ekitike's on. He's a bit immature, but he's got a bee in his bonnet. So I think they should have started him. Regardless, the whole team didn't turn up. There's enough quality in that Liverpool team to beat Man United. It's that simple. Like, whatever line that you put out. So everyone could cuss out the manager, everyone could cuss out the players, the club, whatever. But no one was cussing them 3 weeks ago. So what's changed since then? Yeah. Now it was all certain players' faults. Yeah. Now it's the manager's fault. And now it's slot out, and it's why did we buy all these players all at once? Transition now. We weren't allowed to say transition. Man City weren't allowed to say transition, but now you are. I'm not having it. Stop your whining. You spent a bag load of money. Yeah. You kicked out one of your absolute golden generational talents and local boys in, what's his blood clot name? Alexander Trent. You threw him to the curb. You didn't, yes, he was leaving, but you just didn't move. Yeah, we don't like you. And you realize how much Liverpool and Salah need that guy. Okay, don't be so quick. Don't be so quick. One man's trash is another man's treasure. You guys got one up. You really did. But it is what it is. You wanted to leave, but you didn't replace him. You replaced him with some dead weight, bruv. Dead weight. And now we're starting to see the new era of Liverpool football and Slot's way of managing this team. And they do get opportunities. And I can't blame Slot for that. They would get Gakpo had a bagload of opportunities. Isak had an opportunity. Like, there was a bagload there. It changes the complete complexion of the game. Lights up the Klopp. But it's not Klopp's fault that you missed your bag. It's not his fault. So it is what it is. That's Liverpool. Sorry for the sniff. That's Liverpool. That's Liverpool. But yeah, Verts 009, Gakpo misses. We've already talked about that. Salah nowhere. I mean, literally nowhere. Even though he's bagging for Egypt. Isak, where is he? And Virgil's defending. Aura defending again. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, he knows he's got a drop off now, and that's why he's jockeying. Because if he knows he commits, he looks like a fool. Because I don't reckon he's got that extra yard in him anymore. Clearly. So that's enough on them. Bournemouth, look, it looks like they're overachieving. I'm only mentioning them because they are in the top 4, and I'm just mentioning them because they're there. They look like they're overachieving. They should have won that game the other day against Crystal Palace, but it was 3-3 in the end. What a game. And it shows they're starting to come to light, but they are overachieving, and fair play to them. Fair play to them. They're right up in the mix. That's where you want to be. So if you do drop points, these are the points you've built up that you could drop almost. Yeah, my league feelings overall is just that no one's ticking, and the meltdown from Liverpool fans. It goes to show when people try to label one fan base, you're this, you're that, and then it's like, hold on a minute, we've all got fans like that. It goes to show we really have, because Arsenal fans are this, they all this meltdown. Oh my God, the meltdown from Liverpool. Some Liverpool fans. That's the key thing we miss on social media. We keep going, oh, your fans. I know we've got to own our own all our fan base, but you've got people making fake accounts just to pretend to be an Arsenal fan, just to stir up some stuff, you know? So we have to learn to go some Arsenal fans, not Arsenal fans, because it's the most triggering thing for me. It's so awful. Just, oh, Arsenal fans are like this. It's so, and you know what they're doing. It's just that. It's just that. So, but yeah, the meltdown is crazy. But the league feeling, no one's really ticking yet except for Haaland in Arsenal's defence. And everyone's got international hangover a little bit. But we move. We're past that. We're past it. Now we get into the nitty gritty. We've been going 25 minutes now. This is a long one. This is going to be a long one because we've got a lot to talk about. Okay. So next up for Arsenal, Champions League today, Tuesday. I think it's 8 o'clock. Anyway, it's today. It's today. Yeah. We're at home to Atletico Madrid. And yeah, we know what they're all about. Griezmann, Alvarez, you know, Simeone. Yeah. 5-3-2. It's going to be a big defense and then a counter attack thing. We see that. We know what they're about. I did see some news, and we'll, you know, it is what it is. They're coming over. I actually think we might lose this game. I got this feeling we're going to lose this game. Then it gives, you know, fans that have lost over the weekend something to nibble on at Arsenal. But if we win this, you can afford to lose a game in the group stages. So it doesn't in the league format. So it, you know, it's one of those, we should win this game. That's what I mean. I'm not scared of anyone, but I can see after the news come out about Simeone and the cold showers, apparently, if you don't know, Atletico Madrid were training at Arsenal's Emirates Stadium last night. And after the training, they obviously tried jumping in the showers and it was freezing cold. So the staff sorted it within like half an hour, I think. But Atletico players were already left back to the hotel and they've reported us for it. This might be Harambe. This might be a tactic, Arteta's mind game. I don't know what that is, because that's some weird stuff. But hey ho, cold shower's good for you after exercising anyway. They're just looking out for you. They're looking out for you. So you should be on smoke tonight. And I think that might light a little belly in Simeone's gut and the Atletico players' gut. Oh, they tried disrespecting us yesterday with a cold shower. Nah, we're coming for you. But that's pretty much the news. There's no real injury updates or anything like that. I think Nkepe was on the bench, but he didn't feature at the weekend, so he's available for this one. It doesn't really matter. We should stick our starting 11 out back from international duty, and then we can't really rotate against Crystal Palace this weekend, but it is what it is. It is what it is. My team prediction for this game. Let me just get it down. My team prediction for this game is pretty much, it's starting to become our standard starting lineup at the moment with all the injuries. It's Raya in goal. It's Saliba, Gabriel, centre-back, and Timber and Calafiori full-backs. Then it's Zubimendi and Rice. And then Eze in the 10 standard. Didn't have a great game, but you can't not play a 10 in a 10. We've got one there, and you've also got Ethan. So whatever you want to do, you have to play him. You have to give them the confidence. You have to give them the belief that they can pick locks for this Arsenal team. And then Bukayo Saka, Gyökeres, and actually Trossard this week. I'm going to stick with him. He's doing a job. I think because I want to try Eze with Martinelli, because I feel like Eze likes those over-the-top balls, and he's kind of used to them at Crystal Palace, just pinging them in. So I've gone for Trossard, but now I'm thinking about whichever. It gives Eze someone else, another technician that can run in that sort of 10 role as well as a winger role, which is Trossard. And if he needs to drop in and Eze and him could swap, then that's fine. I'm happy with that. Because if Eze's having a bad game, it's sometimes not worth to use the substitution. Just put him out on the left for 20 minutes and then think about changing things. Gyökeres, I need a goal. This is Champions League now, so I don't think these guys are going to be that physical. They're not as big as you, so you don't need to be. You just need to beat them and score those goals, and This is going to be the night. This is going to be the night. Gyökeres breaks this little goal drought, okay? And Saka, business as usual. World-class Saka. Let's see it. That's my team. It's very simple. That's it. Not going too crazy on that. Business as usual. And my score prediction for tonight, I know I said I think we might lose this one. I'm not trying to cover all bases. I'm just trying to think it's got to happen soon. And especially after that stuff last night, I feel like they might have a bit of a bee in their bonnet. But I'm going to predict 3-0 Arsenal. We're not going to concede against these bums. We're going to score 3 goals. And Gyökeres is going to get 2 of them. Or even a hat. But I think 3-0. And I don't think it's going to be as defensive as we all might predict. I feel like, okay, they're going to... they're gonna think we're gonna play defensive, and then maybe both of us go full out attack. I don't know. One of us does, and one of us defends. I can't see us doing that at home, but yeah, my overall feeling so far, Arsenal, it was such a different vibe from the last international break. We just lost to Liverpool, and then we had to go in international break and just sit on that. And then this time round, we're at top of the table, top of the pile, boys. What a difference like 2 weeks makes. And we were obviously ahead before the international break, but yeah, we're still cooking. We're still finding a way, because the narrative quickly changes when you lose, as you've seen with Liverpool. Because before it was, oh, it doesn't matter, we're getting the wins. Doesn't matter, you get them. And now they're not getting the wins and they're not playing well. The world's melting. So it's great to see Arsenal still playing not at our best. I say we're in about 3rd gear. And that's not individual. That's not including like individual moments of brilliance. Because that can happen at any moment if you've got the talent in your squad. But I feel like as a team as a whole, we're on gear 3 at the minute. I haven't seen that 4th gear yet, 5th, 6th. I haven't seen that yet. I've seen reverse and I've seen handbrake and I've seen gear 1, 2, 3, but I need to see a little bit more. And it might be because we're just pacing ourselves. Players coming back from injury, but you're getting the job done, Arsenal. I love it. Keep it going, guys, because this is what we need. Win dirty now, win easy later. That's it. And yes, we've got a whole lot of competitions to compete in. So it's one of those. And I'm happy overall. If you've made it this far in the video, guys, if you could hit the like button, that would help my channel so much. And I'm not being funny, guys. If you're an Arsenal fan watching this, like, why aren't you supporting your fellow Arsenal creators? Come on now, come on. And my question for you is, who do you think will finish in the top 4 this season? Who will you pick to finish in the top 4 this season? Leave me a comment about that. And if you could, like I said, if you enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hopefully we can't stream the game because I'm working, but we will be live. We will do a match reaction after the game, probably maybe tonight. It might be tomorrow now, but yeah, thank you. Love and peace, guys. Come on, you Gooners. Come on, you Gooners.